This is how you crochet a granny square. I'm going to make this a series where each row gets its own video, and the final video is also going to be on how to change colors with the granny square. To get started, we're going to chain 5, insert our hook into the first chain, yarn over, pull through the chain, pull through the loop, and that's a slip stitch. Then this center here is what we're going to be putting all of our stitches into. So we're going to chain 3 for our turning chain, and then we're going to add 2 double crochet into the center of the ring. The granny square is worked in groups of 3 double crochet, so this will be our first set of 3, and the turning chain does count as a stitch. Then we're going to chain 2, and that'll be our first corner. And then we'll put 3 more double crochet into the ring, and that'll be our second side. And let me know if you need help with the double crochet itself. I have a whole video on how to crochet the double crochet. After our third double crochet, we're going to chain 2 again, and that'll be our second corner. And then 3 more double crochet into the ring for our third side. And also, if you like these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow because I post them every single day. And then after this, we're going to chain 2 more for our third corner and 3 double crochet for our fourth side. And if you have any questions about this stitch or another stitch, you can ask in the comments on any of my videos. And if I can't explain it in words, I'll make a video for it. Now that we have our fourth side, we're going to chain 2 for our fourth corner and slip stitch into the third chain. Now it doesn't matter which loops you pick up, as long as you pick up 2 loops. I'm going to pick up the front 2, so the one on the bottom and the one on the top. It's a little difficult and I'm pretty sure I spliced it, but that's it. Check the comments for part 2. This is how to crochet the granny square part 2. To go back to part 1, just follow the comment. We just finished our first row, and now we're going to slip stitch to the first corner. So I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch there, and then into the second. And then my third slip stitch is going to go directly into that big gap. From there, I'm going to chain 3 for my first double crochet. And then I'm going to add 2 more double crochet into that same gap. And that'll be my first set of 3 double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2 for my first corner, and then add 3 more double crochet into that same spot. And that'll complete my first corner piece. After my last double crochet, I'm going to chain 1, and then I'll add another corner section into the next gap. So each corner is going to have 3 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 more double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 1 to get from one corner to the next. If you like these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow. I post them every single day on my page. And if you have any questions about this stitch or another stitch, you can leave a comment on any of my videos, and if I can't answer your question in words, I'll make a video response to it. So here's my second corner. I'm going to chain 1 and go to my third corner. And again, it's going to be 3 double crochet, 2 chains, and 3 more double crochet. After my fourth corner, I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, just like I did at the end of row 1. This time I'm picking up 2 other loops, and part 3 will be in the comments. This is how you crochet the granny square part 3. If you want to go back to part 2, just follow the comment. We're going to start row 3 the same way we started row 2, by slip stitching our way across until we get to that first corner piece. And from there, we're going to add our first corner. So we're going to chain 3 for the first double crochet, then add 2 more double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochet. All the corners from this point on are going to be worked that exact same way. The only difference in part 3 is that now we have side pieces to add. So the wonderful thing about granny squares is that you're just working from one gap to the next. So after we finish our third double crochet, this is what our corner will look like. And then we're going to chain 1 and insert 3 double crochet into the next gap. And that's how the sides are going to be worked for every single gap that is not a corner. And then after this third double crochet, we're going to chain one again and add another corner piece for our second corner. If you like these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow. I post them every single day on my page. And if you have any questions about this stitch or another stitch, you can leave a comment on any one of my videos, and if I can't answer it in words, I'll make a video response to it. In the next part, we're going to go over color changes. So the stitches are going to be worked the exact same for the rest of the granny square with your corner and your side pieces, but if you want to start changing colors, the next video is going to show you my favorite way to changing colors in a granny square that makes it look almost seamless. And that video is going to be linked in the comments. This is how I change colors on a granny square. There's many other ways to do this. This is just how I prefer to do it. So just like I did in the other parts, I'm going to slip stitch my way into the first corner, and that's going to help me hide the end of the first color in the corner piece. So after I chain one, I'm going to cut my yarn, and then I'm going to pull the yarn out and grab my second color. Then I'm going to take the new yarn and hold it to my work, insert my loop into the corner, pull up a loop, and then chain 3 for my first double crochet. And then when I'm working the rest of the corner, I'm going to hold both pieces with the chains so that I can work them into the stitch. Now I'm not going to show you how to work the rest of this round. The instructions are still the same, but I will show you how I like to weave in my ends too. So I just slip stitched my way back into the first corner. I did not chain one before cutting the yarn and pulling it through. And this is because it'll help me hide the yarn better when I insert my needle in between the loops of the corner chains. And from there, I'm just going to weave it in between the stitches and through the stitches themselves, going in 3 directions. I'm going in 3 directions because the yarn can't really travel around corners. So even if the piece gets tugged on or pushed around or washed, the yarn will not start unraveling itself. I also like to go into the direction the yarn is already traveling within the stitch, or in this case, in the loops that I can easily hide it into. So from there, I'm just going to cut it, and then I'll show you how I weave in the original color. So for the original color, I already crocheted into the corner stitches there, but that's only one direction, and I want to go into 2 more directions. And the other thing is, I cut it a teensy bit short, and sometimes when you're using a yarn needle, it can be a little difficult to keep the yarn on the needle as you're trying to feed it through the stitch. So another tip I have is you can feed the needle through the stitch first, and then as you pull the needle about halfway through, you can add the string or the yarn into the needle and then pull the needle through to get the yarn. If you like these kind of close-up stitch tutorials, be sure to like and follow. I post them every single day. Happy hooking!